Well, hello, Rabbi Lawyer. Oh, who's this with you? You've got someone else with you now. Oh, Angel of Learning's come back. Angel of Learning's come back to help. Because you fellows are having a bit of trouble with corporate law. It's getting complicated, you say. Okay. What was that about? Oh, director's duties. Your head is spinning after all that material on director's duties. Well, I guess it is. Look at the pencil dog. Let's see what's going on down there. I hope you two are listening too, because director's duties aren't that complicated. And in fact, there's only a few things you need to know about them. And one is there are two sorts of director's duties. There are director's duties which have been established under the general law, and there are director's duties which are set out in the Legislation and Corporations Act. And there's that diagram with the concentric sort of looks like concentric circles, showing the relationship between the general law duties and the statutory duties. And that's very useful. If you can follow that through, that'll make things a lot easier. And, yes, and what's that, Angel of Learning? Sometimes the directors are in breach of both general and statutory duties. Yes, that's right. Now the difference is that for a breach of a general law duty, it's up to the company to seek remedies against the directors. What's that, robo-lawyer? That's not possible because the directors are the ones who decide whether the company is going to sue them. Yes, and they're not going to vote for the company to sue them, are they? Well, we'll wait for the story. There's another episode to this story, so it's coming up. Don't worry about that. But for a breach of a statutory duty, ASIC, have you all heard of ASIC, yes? You know what ASIC is, pencil dog, Robo Murray? Yes, Australian Securities Investments Commission actually investigates, and it decides whether to go take them out of court to seek a declaration. And that's right, they might have civil penalty provisions. Yes, I talked about the difference between civil penalties and criminal penalties. Oh, that's right. What's that, Angel of Learning? Are there criminal penalties as well? Yes, actually, sometimes the conduct of the directors is so bad that it actually amounts to an offence, so that's a criminal. They become liable to a criminal penalty in that case. So, yes. And otherwise it's a civil penalty. And so when you see where there looks like being a breach of director's duties, what you have to think about is that, are there any statutory duties that the director may have breached? And are there any general law duties? And quite often it's the same. And then, what was that, Robo Lawyer? In the second half of the lecture we looked at all the different sorts of duties about conflicts of interest and acting in good faith and care and skill. Well, that was more the detail, the contents of specific duties. And what's that, Robo? It's hard to tell which duties have been breached. Yes, sometimes it is. It's very because the same facts might give rise to a number of different breaches. It's up to you to suggest them. There's not necessarily any right or wrong answers, especially in the ones where acting for a proper purpose, whether the purpose is direct. It's all fairly heavy stuff, isn't it? Yes. Okay. I don't expect you. I expect people to know that those duties are there. I don't expect them to be able to analyse them and be very confident about which duties are being breached, because look, people pay large sums of money to eminent lawyers for advice on what's the correct way to go in some cases, and sometimes that advice is incorrect. The court says, no, that was wrong. So it is a tricky area of law, but if we know the broad outline, so bear that in mind. Look for the big picture first of all, and then come back and look at the particular aspects, right? So we talk about the general law duty, statutory duty, the consequences of what can happen. You need to know about civil penalties, compensation orders, all sorts of things. Banning and disqualification orders, that sometimes happens as well. You need to know all those things, and that way you can look at it. And what's up, Rabbi Murin? You want to know, what's all this homework business? Well, I've been putting up on the course web page. Well, there's some problems which I think students should be able to work, and if they have worked, it will help them in their examination preparation. I hope you've been doing them or not, but I hope you start to. But we'll say goodbye for this week. Okay, goodbye everyone. We don't say goodbye. I've got to switch it off. Switch this one off.